the Oscar, which is great news. Loved his performance from Bohemian Rhapsody. But Mahershala Ali winning for Green Book, I thought was also a great nod. That's one of the Oscar movies that's on my radar that I'm considering like a must watch before the award show. And yeah, not a lot to say. Roma and The Favorite kill it at the BAFTAs. We'll see how they do when the Oscars roll around later this month. All right, our next story involves Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is officially going to use James Gunn's script. This comes from Screen Geek. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has had a troubled start, to put it lightly. First, Disney fired writer-director James Gunn from the director's chair after offensive tweets resurfaced. Then Dave Bautista, who plays Drax, publicly condemned Disney's decision, and members of the cast penned an open letter in support of Gunn. It's pretty much certain that Gunn won't be returning after entering talks to direct rival DC's The Suicide Squad, which is official now. But his creative imprint will remain on the project. The film will still be using his script. Chris Pratt, in conversations with MTV News, confirmed that he has read the script, and he commented that it is off the chain. It's so good. It's so good. He added, I think it's in the nature of Guardians of the Galaxy to come together and get the job done, and that's what we'll do. So, Mike, you're a fan of the Guardians movies, am I right?
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah, so after me reading you that they are going to use James Gunn's script amidst all the controversy surrounding him, are you happy to see him still have a role in the Guardians franchise?
I'm still happy that his script is going to be able to be used. I'm still very upset that he was fired. I do not think he deserved that. I think it's still absolutely ridiculous. But it's good to know that at least his vision of the Guardians will continue for most likely the last Guardians movie.
Yeah, and the director of Thor Ragnarok, why am I blanking on his name?
Taika
Waititi, yeah.
Taika Waititi, yeah.
Me, hated Thor Ragnarok, thought it was abysmal, but I do agree. I do agree that Taika Waititi has the flavor to add his, spin on Guardians.
He does not want to direct it.
But he's not doing it. I don't think a lot of directors want to touch this property because
because they're all like, you should give it back to him.
Yeah, and some probably feel that they can't do it justice. I mean, Guardians was a no-name property that James Gunn took from nothing and made $700 million worldwide with the first one, and the second one, I believe, was even more successful. And, I mean, if it wasn't for Peter Quill, half the world might not be dusted right now, so a lot of the Guardians played vital roles in Avengers Infinity War.
This news also kind of makes me think about how in Endgame that the whole thing, they're going to reset. They're going to make sure Peter never gets off that bus because this script, he probably never read Endgame, so how are they going to that's such a big deal.
That's true.
With characters dying and stuff. I do think Endgame, by the end of the movie, everything will be reset. I think they're going to fix everything without, people aren't going to know they were dusted. I do think that's what's going to eventually happen.
I agree for the most part, but that's going to be so mind-boggling if we live in a world where no one even knows, Captain America ever existed if he's the one to pass, you know?
Yeah, I would be kind of mad about that, but it looks like it's probably going to be like that.
I mean, we'll see what happens, and yeah, I'm glad James Gunn is still attached to Guardians in some way. He'll probably get a producer credit, maybe.
He might get a writer's credit, and that's all. I do not think he'll get a producer's credit.
Okay, well, that's probably
fair. I think it's
fair.
Absolutely ridiculous what they did to him.
Yeah, we could talk a whole show about it, but yeah, James Gunn, much like Kevin Hart with the Oscars this year, being bashed for past tweets in which, I mean, we're in joking manner, but yeah, at least it's not like he's been blacklisted from Hollywood. He's got the Suicide Squad now.
He's got Suicide Squad too, yeah.
And so, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird situation.
Definitely, yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on to our final story of today, and that is the news that, I don't want to say broke my heart. I don't want to even say it made me cry, but it definitely made me feel sad. And that's that World War Z 2 is canceled. This movie has been in development hell for years. The first one came out, I believe, in 2014 or 13. It's been a long time. and this bit comes from slashfilm.com. We all had a hard time believing David Fincher would actually direct World War Z 2, and now it's not even happening. Fincher has been working on the project since at least 2016, but constant scheduling delays may have finally delivered a headshot to the project once and for all. While there's still a chance that World War Z sequel will rise from the grave someday, as of now, the Fincher version is dead and buried. And per the story, it says that Paramount simply dragged their heels at one point, eyeing a 2018 or 2019 summer release date, but never bold enough to put it back on the schedule. The film had been staffing up for a lengthy shoot this year, 5 different countries in a 6-month shoot in Atlanta, which is why various tracking companies like Production Weekly had been listing it lately, but simply never received its green light, and none of these hires were officially made. Mike, did you see the original World War Z?
I did not see the original World War Z, but I knew that they were kind of working on a sequel for a while because I knew it was a popular movie. But it's it kind of stinks that like an over budgeting issue was the reason they got rid of it. Yeah. Usually that's not an issue.
Yeah, I'm very sad about this. The first World War Z I really enjoyed. I don't want to say it's one of my favorite movies, but it's a movie I like to revisit every now and then. It's a nice spin on the zombie movie when it's like a world epidemic. I know we see that in shows like The Walking Dead, but they focus on one area. This showed it on a global scale as this huge outbreak, and I thought Brad Pitt was phenomenal in it. And the fact that we were going to get a sequel with David Fincher directing, that was so tempting, so enticing. But it always seemed a little too good to be true. The first one came out, I believe, well over 6 years ago now, and usually, you want to pump out your sequel 2 to 4 years after the original, and yeah, did not seem like it was ever going to get lifted off the ground. And I mean, reading that report, the fact that they had 6 different countries ready to film and all 6 months shooting in Atlanta, it looked like we were going to get a really good movie. But the first one, I remember, had extensive reshoots, and all movies have reshoots these days, typically to add a scene or two or polish up the acting in a scene, but this movie reshot its entire third act, which was very expensive and a bold move, because usually studios will just roll the dice and be like, you know what, we're not that satisfied, but we'll see how it does at the box office. This movie, the original, was like, we're not satisfied, and we want to just remake it, and they did, which probably cost them a ton of money when you add on original budget and marketing budget. And I mean, I think it did well at the box office, but I mean, I guess the fact that they spent so much on the original when the sequel demands a big budget and you can't even trust that they're going to make the full movie the first time around, I can kind of see why the studio canned it.
Yeah, it's kind of just, like you said, development hell. That's what happens sometimes. It's unfortunate that it happened to a movie that had a following,
Yeah, it happens, and a lot of movies that I've been fascinated by never make it to screens, theaters, not even streaming services. Some just get canned altogether. But yeah, that's just kind of how it is. Maybe one day we'll see it resurface. I don't believe this is the last we'll see of World War Z. Yeah. I think in our lifetime we'll get another movie, whether it's an altogether reboot or a far distant set sequel, because it is good source material and the book is very different from the movie, and we know Hollywood these days doesn't like making original films. They want to just do stuff that's based on stuff. So I do believe one day we will see another World War Z movie, but we're not going to see one with Brad Pitt or David Fincher, which makes me sad.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be that way for now.
All right, with that being said, I guess we do have time to fit it in. Mad Max 5, which is the sequel to Mad Max Fury Road, is in development, they say. There's been no real news story on it, but it says it's in development, which I'm very excited for because I loved Mad Max Fury Road. This one is rumored to be titled Mad Max The Wasteland. Mike, are you excited to possibly see another Mad Max?
I am. I loved Mad Max Fury Road. I didn't get to see it in theaters, but I did see it home release. I bought it on Blu-ray. Awesome movie. I've seen the original Mad Max and I've seen Fury Road, but Fury Road knocks the other ones out of the water. It was just an amazing technical spectacle, and
practical
I'm looking
effects
forward
too.
to this. Yeah, a lot of it's what tech, practical too. But I'm really excited to see what they're going to be able to do, because it's going to be hard to top that movie. That movie was really something special, just the perfect storm in a sense.
Yeah, the one concern I have is Tom Hardy is a wanted man in Hollywood these days. He seems to be getting attached to so many properties. Even, we both scoffed at Venom for a while. I know you more than me, but
I still scoff at Venom.
It was very successful at the box office, and he's their leading man, and he's always going to be rumored to play Wolverine in the MCU, and he has a lot of stuff going on, so it'll be interesting to see if Mad Max even fits into his schedule.
Yeah, I think he put it aside for anything. Mad Max is pretty big, and he wasn't he? Did his performance get a lot of praise?
Well, actually, people kind of scoffed at his performance because he didn't really say anything, and they said it was Furiosa's movie. Charlize Theron, who was supposed to get her own spinoff but never did. But Mad Max Fury Road killed it at the Oscars that year. It was nominated for so much stuff.
A lot of tech awards, right?
So I'm surprised that this is the first we're hearing in a while that it's in development.
I think as long as it's in development, like we just talked about this, it's we could compare World War Z 2 and this movie, how both of them have been in development for a very long time. One of them is being made, one of them isn't, So hopefully it doesn't end up like World War Z 2. Yeah,
hoping that this movie, it's the original came out in 2015, I remember, because that was the year of sequels, Age of Ultron, The Force Awakens, all that stuff. There was even a Fast and Furious movie. But yeah, I'm hoping that this movie gets off the ground, and I would love to see Tom Hardy, even if Mad Max has a limited role and we focus on Furiosa, anything to get back into that movie. It was so good. It was such a spectacle to watch. Didn't get to see it in theaters as well because it was rated R and I was too young at the time, so I had to wait till it came out on Blu-ray. But it was one of those Blu-ray movies that I popped in, shut off my phone, just got ready to watch a movie at my house in a home theater experience, and I was very glad I did because it's a spectacle for sure.
Definitely.
All right, with that being said, that's going to wrap up our news topics for today, and it is now time to roll credits. All right, thank you guys so much for joining us on today's show. We're so glad to be doing this again. I know we say it every week, but I'm very excited to kind of have this on the schedule. I know the past 2 episodes came out on Thursdays, but we just kind of, scheduling issues, me and Mike both go to college now. We're in different states. It's hard to, link up.
At least we're getting them out. No more hiatus after hiatus.
Yeah. So, and also the past 2 weeks when we waited the extra day, a new trailer dropped or a new news story dropped. We're able to put more content into these for you guys. I have a bit of an announcement to make. We are currently, as a show, we are 27 episodes in with this show. I believe we might actually have a few more because we had a few 14.5 when we were doing double feature movie reviews or whatever. So we'll call it that we're 30 episodes in now, and we're at just over 600 downloads. That is very exciting to me, even though that average is only out to 30 downloads an episode, maybe even less. We are planning to do a giveaway when we hit 1,000 downloads, which is 400 downloads away. Might be in a few episodes, might be sooner if we can get the word out. So if you follow us at BlockBreakPod on Twitter and constantly retweet our stuff, and then eventually retweet when we do the giveaway, it'll just help the podcast grow, and we're hoping, that we can do that giveaway ASAP. It'll be of a Blu-ray of a new release on Blu-ray. We'll put out a poll of what you guys want to see. But yeah, make sure you're following the Twitter and retweeting and getting the word out, because the faster we get to 1,000 downloads, the faster we get that giveaway off the ground.
Definitely. Looking forward to that.
And with that being said, you can find me on all social media at LiamCrowley714.
And you can find me everywhere at MikeGillis25.
And yeah, like I said, be sure to be following the podcast at BlockBreakPod on Twitter. Subscribe to the iTunes, download from Spreaker. Anything you can do to help the show, we really appreciate it. Get your questions in. We have been wanting to do a mailbag episode for so long. So make sure you're tweeting us your questions, comments, concerns. Even if you want to just give us a compliment. Even if you want to say we're not doing a good job. Whatever. Just let us know about what you guys think about the show. We're trying to grow this thing as much as possible. And even though we're just over FaceTime, we're having a lot of fun doing it. So yeah, make sure you're following us. A lot of cool developments on the way. With that being said, I've been Liam Crowley. That is Mike Gillis. and we will see you next time.